Coming to you live from our Auckland Park studios, this is Prime News on SABC 3. Here are the stories making headlines.
Had our forensic experts that worked on the vehicle and they found traces of blood.
Police believe that the three suspects being sought in connection with the murder of 30-year-old Gertrude Mongale are part of a syndicate targeting and robbing women, particularly at shopping malls.
On the human trafficking charge, he was sentenced to life imprisonment.
The NPA has welcomed the life sentence handed down to Kelly Smith, Jacqueline Apollos and Stefano van Rijn by the Western Cape High Court.
The MPC decided to reduce the policy rate by 25 basis points with effect from the 30th of May.
Consumers can breathe a slight sigh of relief. This as the Reserve Bank's Monetary Policy Committee has resolved to cut interest rates by 25 basis points. Good evening and welcome to Prime News on 3. I am Becky Mutumobulete and we're live tonight with the top stories that matter. From breaking news to in-depth analysis, we continue to bring you the latest developments that shape our world. Let's dive into the stories that are making headlines tonight. A life well lived despite an abrupt and brutal end, Gertrude Mongale's life was described as fruitful. Speakers eulogized about her life and how she was able to achieve a lot at a young age. They say she was a go-getter as well as an avid reader who loved literature and traveling the world.
Mourners have been urged to celebrate and not despair. Those whose lives were touched by Gertrude's work spoke glowingly about her. She was described as someone with deep wisdom at a young age.
Those people that killed Gertrude, they killed part of Pops. Because when we went to Popinyane's events, Gertrude was always the MC.
Gertrude was described as a larger-than-life and a special person by her family.
She was a child that had an enterprising spirit, an inquiring mind, a reader, a traveler, a loving and bubbly soul. And my character is I'm a disciplinarian by nature, but I don't remember sitting her down, taking her to task.
A prayer service will be held at Gertrude's family home on Friday as the family prepares for her final send-off on Sunday. Ishmael Mudiba, SABC News, Bloemfontein.
Meanwhile, police believe the three suspects being sought in connection with her murder are part of a syndicate targeting and robbing women, particularly at shopping malls. Fezi Lengubane, Pilangenkosi Makaya, and Bongani Mtimkulu are believed to be residing in KwaZulu-Natal. Mongale's body was discovered on Sunday in Lombardy West, Johannesburg, just hours after she was picked up for a date by a man driving a Volkswagen Polo.
Following last night's candlelight memorial where loved ones, friends and the Lombardy West community gathered at the spot where Gertrude Mongale's lifeless body was discovered, police believe they've made a breakthrough in the murder case. They've been able to locate and seize the wanted VW Polo allegedly used on Sunday to pick up Mongale. It was found at a panel beater workshop in Phoenix in Durban.
In terms of the vehicle, we had our forensic experts that worked on the vehicle and they found traces of blood. So they're still analyzing and trying to match the blood to try and ascertain who the blood belongs to.
Police believe the suspects are part of a syndicate and use the same modus operandi of targeting women at shopping malls, proposing to them until the women agree to meet and go out with them. Police say two of the accused are out on bail on a similar case.
We had a similar case in Brakpan on the 20th of April, where a vigilant member of the South African Police Service actually picked up this suspicious-looking VW Polo on the side of the road. And upon further investigation, he then found that a woman was kidnapped. And he detained two suspects, Bongani Mtimkulu, Philani Makhanya, on a charge of kidnapping and robbery.
Police say they've deployed all available resources to track down these wanted suspects. Puseletso Mokoena, SABC News, Johannesburg.
In addition, police in KwaZulu-Natal have confirmed that a second person has been taken in for questioning. The individual is the mother of one of the suspects. It remains unclear if she will face any charges.
Residents of KwaMashu have reacted with outrage to reports that two suspects wanted in connection with the murder of Mongale hail from the township. Police released the names and pictures of Fezi Lengubane and Philangenkosi Makhanya, who are both believed to reside in this part of KwaMashu. News that police were searching for them quickly spread, and residents have banded together to help the police.
We try to communicate along our areas via all network we have to cascade the information. For now, we get lucky. Early this morning, one suspect has been handed over to the police.
KwaMashu is a notorious crime hotspot with a high rate of murder, robbery and drug-related crimes. Makhanya says the community's response to this case is indicative of their commitment to playing their role in the fight against crime in the area. As the investigation continues, police in the province say two people who are related to Makhanya have been questioned.
More than anything is that the mother tipped off the son while the police were in the house. So the mother calls the son and telling the son to get away when the son was hiding in another place. So that's why the mother has also been taken for questioning.
Police have remained mum on reports that one of the three suspects was arrested. Ayanda Mhlongo, SABC News, KwaMashu.
The National Prosecuting Authority has welcomed the life sentence handed down to Kelly Smith, Jacqueline Apollos and Stefano van Ryan by the Western Cape High Court. Judge Nathan Erasmus found that there was nothing compelling to deviate from the prescribed sentence on the charge of trafficking in persons.
Judge Erasmus said Kelly Smith, as Jocelyn's birth mother, treated her as a commodity, and that Apollos, as her father figure, and Laurentia Lombard went along with the plan being put in place to sell her for 20,000 rand.
Went as far as to blame your parents for your conduct.
Those who love and care for Jocelyn are satisfied with the sentence, but they want their little girl back.
We hope she wants to talk, because I want to go also to Kelly now and speak with her and ask her to tell us where is the child.
It's not a nice thing for my child to sit in jail for the rest of her life, but she did something wrong, so she must deal with the consequences.
Who wanted to adopt Jocelyn and who viewed her as part of her family says while the sentence brings some comfort, it does not bring closure.
When someone's child is dead and there is a graveyard you can go to, then you can go and talk to them. But where do we go?
The NPA says the kidnapping and trafficking of Jocelyn had a profound impact on the community at large.
The judge made that clear in his statement that the community demanded their dignity back. They feel responsible, and the judge took it serious into account that there was silence on the part of the accused.
Vanessa Puna, SABC News, Saldanha on the West Coast.
Welcome back. Consumers can breathe a slight sigh of relief. The Reserve Bank's Monetary Policy Committee has resolved to cut its interest rates by 25 basis points. This takes the repo rate, the rate at which the Reserve Bank lends to commercial banks, to 7.25%, and the prime rate, the rate at which commercial banks lend to consumers, to 10.75%. These rates will take effect on Friday, 30th of May, 2025.
Governor Kganyago cited lower oil prices and the stronger rand among the reasons the MPC felt comfortable enough to cut rates. 5 members of the MPC opted for the 25 basis point cut, while one other had agitated for a 50 basis point cut. The decision to cut was taken despite a number of unforeseen possibilities.
Prospects for global inflation are more complex. The United States could experience higher inflation from tariffs and supply chain disruptions. Those supply chain problems could also raise prices in other economies. At the same time, inflation could be lower given weaker world growth, cheaper oil, and abundant capacity in economies like China.
Largely predicted that a rate cut would be the order of the day and welcomed the decision, adding that this would be supportive to the South African consumer.
For the most part, it means that there's less pressure on the consumer. So interest rates have been quite elevated for quite some time, since around 2023. There has been a lot of pressure on the consumer. So the cost of, credit cards, the cost of your bonds, the cost of your vehicles will be definitely much lower currently.
The bank reiterated its call on authorities to temper administered price inflation, for the government to hold a firm line on keeping public debt in check, and for the economy to boost its productivity levels. Nampumelelo Siziba, SABC News, Johannesburg.
ANC Secretary General Fikile Mbalula says the Liberation Movement will honor the late ANC stalwart and anti-apartheid veteran Gertrude Shop by upholding the values and principles she stood for. Mbalula was addressing Shop's memorial service in Centurion.
As we pay our last respects and mourn the passing of Gertrude Shop, affectionately known as Mashop, we also celebrate an extraordinary life of a revolutionary giant, a mother of our nation, and a beacon of resilience. She was bestowed the highest honor awarded by the African National Congress to those who have made an outstanding contribution and sacrifice to the liberation struggle. Isitwalandwe siaparango. Mashop's name will be forever etched in the annals of history for the profound impact she made in the struggle for justice, equality, and the liberation of our people.
Gauteng police have expressed concern over the increase in taxi-related violence in the province. In the latest incident, 2 people were fatally shot in a suspected taxi violence attack at the Zonkizizwe taxi rank in Ekurhuleni.
In the early hours of Thursday, the Zonkizizwe taxi rank became the scene of yet another deadly shooting. 2 people lost their lives in what authorities suspect is a continuation of the ongoing taxi-related violence.
We had 2 people who have been shot and killed, and we can confirm that based on our interviews, one of these people belongs to a taxi association, another one is for security industry. One can confirm that we have since seized a rifle belonging to a security company.
The incident is not isolated. Just 2 months ago, 3 people were gunned down at the same taxi rank, highlighting a disturbing pattern of violence in the area.
As a matter of concern, I have spoken to my provincial aid crime intelligence, General Kalakala, to say this taxi violence is a concern. We have to unmask this issue of the taxi violence. We have indeed put systematically the team which have gone for the manhunt.
Gauteng has been grappling with a surge in taxi-related violence, with multiple incidents reported in recent months, resulting in 17 people losing their lives. In March, 4 people were killed in a shooting at the GP taxi rank in Johannesburg, further emphasizing the severity of the situation. Lopang Alamu, SABC News, Ekurhuleni.
Thank you for staying with us. Dr. Sidi Ultar has been elected as the president of the African Development Bank Group. The president-elect, who has been backed by Mauritiana, has defeated about 5 candidates, including South Africa's Bajabulile Swazi Shabalala and Zambia's Samuel Mayimbo.
After months of intensive campaigning, Mauritania's candidate has emerged as a new leader of the African Development Bank Group.
It is also my duty to thank all of those who have supported my candidacy from afar or from close up. Of course, I cannot name them all at this particular moment.
The South African delegation has wished Tar well as the new leader of the multilateral financial institution.
We had about 5 capable candidates, and therefore we had to contend amongst, in an environment like that. And I think we wish Mauritania and the new president very well.
The African Development Bank Group says it's been a fairly democratic process, and they look forward to working with a new leader.
The African Development Bank is one of the most democratic institutions in electing the president of an MDB. In most MDBs, very many, they are handpicked by their countries because their countries control the majority shareholding. But in the AFDB, it's a competition, and the governors select who they perceive to be the most suitable candidate through a voting process that lasts almost a year. Almost 9 months of preparations. From July, the 1st July of a particular year, ending in May the following year, ensuring that the process is one that lives up to the expectation of the shareholders.
Now the new leader of the African Development Bank Group is facing a monumental task, especially as the world is facing a myriad of challenges. Khalihle Khumalo, SABC News, Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire.
The South African Sports Confederation and Olympic Committee is considering a request from the Commonwealth Federation to host the Games in 2030. The future of this global showpiece is in doubt, but a change in the structure of the Games might make it financially more viable for countries to host it.
At a presentation outlining SASCOC's vision for the future of South African sport, hosting the Commonwealth Games and expressing interest in hosting the 2036 Olympics were discussed. The Commonwealth Games is a controversial issue worldwide. Financial constraints sunk the country's previous effort to host it in Durban in 2022. And recently, Australia also decided not to host it due to the financial burden. It was moved to Glasgow, Scotland next year and widely expected to be the last edition. President of SASCOC, Barry Hendricks, says after proposed changes, including less sporting codes, less athletes and less venues, countries, including South Africa, are showing interest again.
The fundamental format of the Commonwealth Games has changed drastically. And that is why Glasgow was able to put their hand up, because they got support from Commonwealth Sport to host it, £100 million. And the format has changed. It doesn't need to be in one city. It doesn't need to be, the number of sports can change and decrease, as has happened in Glasgow. So these are all new avenues that we can approach in order to make sure that we can host these events.
Hendricks further says SASCOC will also look at the possibility of hosting the Commonwealth Youth Games and the Olympic Youth Games to showcase the country's capacity to stage global events. Harry Olivier, SABC News, Johannesburg.
We are officially in the season of frosty mornings and cozy nights. Our weather team has the forecast to keep you warm and informed. Stay tuned.
Good evening to you. Let's take a look at all your weather details. As another cold front approaches landmass, we've got scattered showers ahead of that for the Cape Peninsula with wind speeds up to 50 kilometres an hour. Partly cloudy skies through the rest of the Western Cape. Otherwise, a clear night in store for the rest of South Africa, the East Coast, the central parts and the northern interior. Ahead towards tomorrow, and we've got sunny conditions through the Free State northwards in towards the country on Friday. Just some cloud cover expected through northern KwaZulu-Natal as the cold front brushes along the coastline, bringing with it some partly cloudy conditions towards the Eastern Cape and some isolated showers in and around Cape Town. On to some alerts for this evening. Please be on the lookout for the potential of damaging winds that lead to increased wave heights in and around the Cape Peninsula southwards through the Garden Route, and ahead towards tomorrow, damaging waves possible from Cape Town southwards towards the Garden Route towards the Eastern Cape. And into your overnight temperatures we go. Cape Town dropping to 13 degrees, Gqeberha 12 overnight, Durban 15, Johannesburg dropping to 9 with Bloemfontein down to 3, warming up tomorrow to a maximum of 20 degrees, that's under sunshine, 22 in Kimberley with sunny conditions prevailing, Johannesburg 22, Pretoria 24, slightly warmer as you head northwards with Mbombela up to about 28 degrees tomorrow afternoon, Richards Bay nice and warm at 27, Durban 23, Gqeberha up to 19, whilst Cape Town, the effects of the cold front being felt, just warming up to 18 tomorrow, and Sutherland up to about 13 degrees. Now ahead towards the rest of the weekend's forecast, we've got cold temperatures but sunny skies expected through the central parts of the country, cooler towards the coastline whilst it remains sunny but cool in towards the Free State and Gauteng. That's it from me. Enjoy your evening.
And that's how we wrap up this evening. We'll be back with more news tomorrow. Till then, from myself and the Prime News team, stay inspired, stay ahead. Good night.